Planet of the Fakes 4 Families. And Pigstar HH. News. Resident owner denies Arlington police officers entry into his home without a search warrant, officers still went in. When there is a domestic disturbance, no warrant is needed to enter a residence. There is a zero-tolerance order in place for domestic disturbance. When the officer saw the broken glass, even though he didn't need probable cause to enter, that gave him the probable cause to enter. Everyone needs to understand the laws are different when it comes to a domestic disturbance, or domestic violence. This comes from a retired state trooper. Where was their broken glass? Did they ever find a wife? Good sheep broken glass in the middle of the floor. Because it's an ongoing investigation, I can't answer the second question, it's classified information, sorry. Anytime there is a domestic or threat of a domestic, police do not need a search warrant. We gotta look deep too. Arlington does have some fucked off cops, but they have some damned good ones too. One day this gone happen and somebody baby gone be tied up in a house, then a video gone be posted like this and people gone praise the killer for not letting the cops in. It's always two sides, but on the other hand I'm glad they didn't shoot him. Why can't they just take their feet out like he's asking them to? That's what I would have done. Establish some trust. And if the door got slammed on me then I have a better reason to force my way in. Honestly, if you not black your opinion shouldn't even be voiced, you should STFU. We only in the predicament because of white people, so every time I see one acting concerned I find it disrespectful because 400 years of this shit been going on to our people and UMFSKUMBAYING while we really mourning the deaths of our people is just annoying AF. Y'all don't care about us, y'all just steal from our culture and thinks it's okay, but the second one of us move in your neighborhood we get killed. Then if something had really happened to his son or someone else in the house everyone would be pissed off if they knew the cops were there and just left. Too many kids are being hurt or murdered by the hands of their parents. There's a time to walk away and not. Sometimes we need to open our ears and close our mouths for a moment. Seriously, if that kid was hurt or scared all hell would break out if those cops had walked away. I'm just a huge advocate for the kids and can't handle any more of these babies being hurt. Disappointed face Cecilia Salazar. Well, when I listened to the video the officers clearly said they received a call to do a wellness check on the wife in the home. The guy states there isn't a wife in the home, only him and his 6-year-old son. He even said they were at the wrong door. At that point the officers should have referred back to the info on the call to be sure they were at the right location. So yes, it is important to open our ears and close our mouths and listen to the entire discussion before making any judgments because it had zero to do with the kid. He only called for his son so the officers would know there wasn't anyone else in the home. Brandy Vanuf said, when I moved here from another state, one of the first things that I noticed was all the dang locks required by law on rental properties, so there is obviously a big issue with domestic violence in these parts. I personally haven't seen a man that will beat up his woman and not lie and try backpedal out of the trouble for hurting her when the police get involved. Person shrugging female sign. Now I of course understand all our frustrations with the police, but sometimes it's just easier to prove them wrong than trying to debate with them on the streets. Cecilia Salazar. So if I just randomly called in about an issue at your house and you were smoking and the police forced their way in, are you okay with that? Cecilia Salazar. If he said everything was okay, that's the end of it. Come back with a warrant. Then the officer screaming, stop hurting the kid. Cecilia Salazar. That was the case. The officer said they received a call. He offered no details. Once the owner said everything was okay, that was the end of it. The last health and wellness check ended with a mother being killed in front of her son. Gresham McRae. That is very sad. It probably would have happened eventually, which is very sad, but if our police are called to check on someone, please understand they are doing their job. If that were your mom or sister or daughter, would you want the police to respond? If they see she is hurt, the man would be arrested, she could get away and a life saved. In this video I felt the police being respectful, but the man would not let them say anything. Gresham McRae. That is heartbreaking, but a lot of women won't press charges when the police do get involved. If this woman was being hurt and police come in, suspect could have been arrested, allowing her to get herself and children away safely. The police are doing a job. Linda Kirk York. Yes, I'd want them to respond. And yes, they have a job to do, but damn it, do it right. They traumatized a kid. Post an officer outside and go get necessary paperwork. You can't encourage breaking the law to enforce a law. Every time a police officer uses the statement you match a description, it's a form of stop and frisk or profiling. Had he been polite and said no sir, everything is fine and smiled, what do you think would have happened? Violating the constitutional right would mean a police can say they received a call and then just come in. Linda Kirk York. The police should do their job correctly. Secondly, there could have been no one else there, but he could have had a blunt on the counter and gone to jail. Once you let them in, they can search everywhere. Gresham McRae. Some police. Please don't judge all police, some good and some bad. Please don't judge all white people as racist. I'm not. We are all created by God. Gresham McRae. Did we change topics? Are we talking about the man not allowing police in on a welfare check, or the sorry cops who stood by and watched their fellow officer kill an innocent man? Linda Kirk York. How if there really was a call for a domestic disturbance but these officers were at the wrong apartment? So instead of just leaving one on the door like the resident asked and going back to verify the call and getting the proper paperwork, they could have indeed prevented any trauma to the kid and furthermore been able to get to the apartment of where the actual disturbance was. MSBV Hunt. True, but if a man was abusing his wife or child, what are the chances that he wants to let them in? If he didn't do anything, why not let them look and clear himself? Danielle Moore. I might be black, but I don't have any frustrations with the police, lol. My frustration is with ignorance, and the office's decision on this was ignorant. The officers stated that this was a wellness check, which means someone outside of the home made a call based on an assumption, in other words, that call came from outside of the home. So if they really wanted to resolve the situation, they should have done their jobs and verified the info they received first to be sure they were in the right location and at least explain the details of the call. This guy said he felt threatened, and those that are hired to protect and serve dismissed it as if they just knew he was lying. I'm mostly concerned about the fact that their egos took over and they were more concerned with forcing their authority on this guy because he told them they could not enter his home, which is his right according to the laws of Texas. I don't care how people feel personally or whatever anyone has been taught growing up or any decisions made in one's personal life experiences. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and this whole situation was wrong, ignorant, and ego-driven. If they really believed someone was in danger, then they would have followed proper protocol. Linda Kirk York. Their job was over when he told them there was no woman there. Then when they saw the child, that was it. When there is a domestic disturbance, no warrant is needed to enter a residence. There is a zero-tolerance order in place for domestic disturbance. When the officer saw the broken glass, even though he didn't need probable cause to enter, that gave him the probable cause to enter. Everyone needs to understand the laws are different when it comes to a domestic disturbance, or domestic violence. This comes from a retired state trooper. Where was their broken glass? Did they ever find a wife? Good sheep. Broken glass in the middle of the floor. Because it's an ongoing investigation, I can't answer the second question. It's classified information, sorry. Full link to the video in the description. Comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell and visit our community.